Hello there, my name is Adam. I'm a map designer and illustrator, and today I'm going to show you how to make a 2D map in Godot, or rather design a whole level for it. So this solely depends on what type of game you're planning to play, but in my occasion it's a 2D platformer. In your occasion it might be something like a top-down view like Pokemon, but I'll show you how to make something with sprites that are already made. When it comes to the pixel art, that'll be up to you. There are a few courses on this and on Mammoth Interactive, but for now, let's get started. Drag and drop all your sprites right here, then click right here on the plus button to add a new node, search for a tile map, create, and there we added a tile map node. On the right hand inspector panel, change it to new tile set, and then click on tile set. Now drag the bitmap tile set to the right here. Click on yes, and that'll automatically tile some stuff for you. So after you're done with that, all you have to do is click on a few of these and you can start painting it in, just like that. As you can see here, you can just start painting in the level. Let's do Control Z there. So let's start making the map. First, let me zoom in and see which ones I want to use. So when it comes to the ground tiles, they do give us quite a lot of choices here. One good example is this one. We can just start the floor here. Now obviously you want to mix and match different tiles so that it doesn't look very strange. But when I look at these, clearly they're supposed to be edge tiles. So this right here should be the floor tile. Then we have this one that goes into the edge, and this helps it transition into something like this. Then if you want, you can do this to add like a little edge. We can just do this for this little edge there and fill that in with the black. Let's just keep building this up. Let's grab this tile here. Our character will be able to jump twice. We can just place these in like this, fill in the dark spots, and we can continue making flooring like this. We can add a sign there. I'm going to add this one right here. We're going to add a little mound of grass that's floating right here. Keep in mind, a lot of these little models, or a lot of these little grass things and textures are completely free from what I saw. You can just search them up and they should be... There are several little asset packs that people make that you can use, and well, it makes it just so you can make levels as easily as this. You can also put a lot of the little pieces of nature and rock that they added in this right here. You can do Control Z if you don't like how something looks. Add a few flowers. You can add a little chest up here. Generally, you should put it on stuff like this that looks a little bit more solid, and it just comes with the territory of just designing a nice looking level. Personally, I do it like this. You can do it differently. And this is mainly for people who want to look around, see if there's anything special in the level. You can fill in this bottom part, but generally everything that's on screen should remain on screen, so you shouldn't have anything to worry about. Let's continue working on this. We can use this little box here as like a platform you can jump on. There you go. It'll just be floating there. Here we're going to add something like that as well. Now why you would want to get on top of here, maybe because later on when in the game you get an upgrade, you can backtrack back to here, jump from here and dash and get on top of this. Try to always get at least something similar, or try to recreate the art style that you're trying to use here. Now, a lot of the times I see a lot of like game devs and stuff that make their maps, and they do this error a lot where they use different like resolutions, different sizes. A lot of game devs do that error. And honestly, I wish they wouldn't do that, because it looks pretty bad, and it looks like you didn't really put much of thinking on the idea. It also looks like you were using temporary textures for what you were making. Try to add a lot of these little details like this, so that it looks natural. A lot of the times when it comes to creating maps, you want them to look interesting, you want them to look natural, so you put them like this. Now the reason why I don't put anything down here is, well, because the camera of the player won't go past that line there. Ideally, if you're zoomed out to like this, that would be somewhere around 4K resolution. That's another thing you should keep in mind. When creating a map, keep in mind all the different resolutions. So maybe someone with 720p would see only this, someone with 1080 would see a little bit more, like this, and someone with 4K would see something like this, where they see a lot of the map, and it's much wider. Just keep that in mind that when making a map, you should always like think about this bottom part. So try to extend the little void part or the wall down as much as you want. If you want, you can just extend it a little bit more to keep it safe. A lot of games do this, and I found this to be common in a lot of modern titles. A good example is the game Convergence, a League of Legends story. Alright, let's continue making the world. So here, I'm going to make it fall down quite a bit. You'll have to modify this here. So another thing, keep in mind, you gotta make this go to the side like this and fill it in as much as you can. Because if you're going to make the player go down, you might as well fill in all of this. So here I'm going to do this, and then you fall into like a little pit. I'll make it go all the way down. Then it'll transition into like this blue material here. I'll just do it like this, add a little edge like that, and we transition to like a little blue area. Changing up the colors is something I would recommend to a lot of people. Always try to change up the little colors that you use for your assets. It makes your maps look interesting to do. Right here, so you can just add a little bit of water here, add a few bubbles to indicate that that's water. You can make this a little island. Right here, I'm just marking out what I want to put in the middle. So right here, I just want to put grass. Then I want to put a wall here. And then I want to put these little stones around just like this. So we're just going to be using this. Since the same asset has the same color, it doesn't really matter. A lot of times you'll see, well, this part looks warmer. Why does this look the same color? That's because they are the same. So yeah, if you ever see something like this, generally it's the same color. It just looks more blue and more cold. And here you should always fill in once more to the bottom of the map like this. And now I'm just going to make the mountain go down like this. And we can start making the player go into like a little bushy area. Go like this. And keep in mind this is lighter than this. So when creating all this, you should keep in mind that this goes down all the way. So let me just do that. Make this go all the way down. And we can use the same thing that we did here with this water. So let me put the water level right here. You should always think about what water level you want. So when it comes to a game, you always want to keep the water at the same height, because that's usually how it works in real life. And then you just want to fill it up with like a little bit of bubbles, little pixel art assets. Fill the rest in with like black. And now it just looks like you can fall into water and you'll drown. Or the player will drown if they fall in there. Let me just build up this part of the level, and I'll be right back. So now that I've designed this little part of the level, this is pretty simple. You just jump from here down to here. Always keep in mind the distance that the character can jump. So, for example, right here, the character can jump 2 blocks up. Or rather, 2 tiles up. Right here, this is 3 tiles high. So what you want to do is add a little ladder like this, right about here maybe. A little ladder like that. Then you want to grab one of these, change it to that simple little fence, and make it so the character only has to jump 1 tile here to get on top of this. And this is a good example right here. You'll see something like this. Well, you can add like a little chest down here, and a ladder that just goes up to right about here where you can jump up. It's just something that you should keep in mind. Like, oh, why should I jump down there? There's no reason. There's a chest, that's why. And right here, oh, there's another chest. You can always, change it for something else. Like, I don't know, a sign. It's telling you a little message like, oh, if you continue this way. Like, maybe you can make this whole thing a tutorial level. Like right here. Get this sign, so it's a different color. Like you read this sign, it says like this, and that, like up, left, right, space bar to jump, and you like jump over here. Then it explains, oh, this is a chest. Chest contain item, or chest can contain item. You can let the terrain explain itself. So maybe just out of pure curiosity, they'll like try to do the jump millions of times, and they'll be like, man, it's impossible to get that chest. And that's good lore telling through architecture. A lot of the time in your games, you want to explain how to do stuff and see and show, oh, these jumps are possible. This one right here isn't quite as possible. It's a 3 jump. Like this on top of that. Or no, I'm just going to put a box. And as that little tile right there, I'm just going to do that. This there, and then add nothing. See, that makes it look a little more interesting, I think. And block those little gaps there. There we go. Just make the shape more interesting. Also, don't forget to add these little details around. Otherwise, your plant will look a little weird. And we can put a little ladder right there. They can go on that, jump 2 blocks, go up there. And they know they can jump 2 blocks up to here. It makes it look interesting. It makes it, logical. And later on, if you want that to add stuff to the background, you can program a gradient that goes up from the bottom to the top. Then it goes into like a light blue or something. And that can be the background of your game. Let's add a few little platforms here that people can jump on. And let's put a box there so they can go back. Like in case they forgot something, they can go back. But eventually, you have to do a point of no return. So when it comes to level designing, a point of no return is when you can't go back anymore. Like you're gonna need an upgrade no matter what. Like you're gonna need to have the double jump no matter what. You're gonna need the dash ability no matter what. Every game has one of these. That's called a point of no return. Obviously, some of them don't have it, but games like Hollow Knight, as a good example, have a point of no return, where there's this gate you have to go through, and once the gate lifts and drops, you can't go back through that passage, basically. But that doesn't mean eventually there won't be another passage you can go through to go back. But in general, I'm just going to make a little platform like this to end this little jump like right here. I'm going to make it pretty high up. I'll go like this, a 3 gap, and it should be like a small point of no return. Make a little platform like a little organic. It looks interesting. And you can build these as low as you want. Depends you want the player to drop. Change it around. It's like, oh, I want the player to drop to like about here. So basically the character will fall up to here and then the camera will fade to black. We can make it do it the camera will be like this. You can go up and then fall. If you fall down, the camera will up to here and then fade to black, and that's when the character dies. But yeah, alright. We can add little flowers to this. Maybe a little bit of grass. Adding these little assets does add a bit of decoration and character to your stuff, so try to add them all over the place. And right here I'm going to end it off in like a little blue area. I'll add like a blue pillar, and over here we can just add a thing, because maybe you just made this at like a little tutorial level, you never intended it to be something special. You can add different colored signs saying congratulations, thank you for finishing the little tutorial that I made. And you'll see that you have these little background assets right here. You can just put those around if you want to, fill in space. And a lot of these assets do connect together, so really good. You can put these around as decoration. There's this bigger tree right here. You can use that as well. But when it comes to the level design and all that, we're pretty much done. This right here is just the animation of the chest opening. But yeah. Also, before we finish this off, make sure to add element, which is the physics layer. Then make sure to pick 2 here with a collision mask and 1 over here. After that, I want you to click here on setup, select this tile here, do physics layer 0, and click here. And then after you click on this, you have to click on these little corners here to add collision to that, just like this. There you go. And now it should be a solid object. And you can maybe move them around if you think they don't look good. Alright, and you should try to do that for every single ground tile. So example, the one I did was this one right here. So you should try to add the collision for this one. You should add some collision for these corner bits and for everything else. The main reason is because you know, if you don't have collision in at least one of these, the player could potentially fall through the world, and we really don't want that. So try to apply this collision to everything. I'm going to do that right now, so I'm just going to be silent for a little while. Alright, and now when it comes to making the signs have collision, because we've added collision to all of the main parts, for example, the floor here, these corner, these edges, we've added collision to all that, but when it comes to items like the signs, we don't really need to add collision to those, because otherwise the player could just jump on it and jump on top of this. So try not to add any collision to the signs, they're just there for reading. Try not to add any collision to the fences as well. And the only thing that we do have to add collision are maybe the chests, if anything. Or even that, like, I don't think you should add collision to the chests. Maybe if you need it to program in the action of opening it, but that's pretty much it. It's just like adding a hitbox. Now, when it comes to these like the boxes here that you jump on, these actually do have to have collision. So you just have to go in and just click on these little corners here and get the shape of the box at like a decent amount close. So like right here, let's like adjust it. In case you're curious, this one here is to adjust the shape of the collision box. This right here is to remove one, and this one right here is to add the collision itself. So there, we added collision to this. The other one we need to add collision to is the ladder. So for this one, it's pretty simple as well. We just go like this at the edge there. We go all the way up. We make a little corner like this. If you want, you don't really need to be precise with that there, as long as it looks good, and we add a very specific collision box to the ladder, and we just close it off. Later on, you can adjust it so that it fits the pixel art perfectly, and mainly, this is so that when the player falls into this little divot, it does exist, and it makes the, you know, it makes it look much better than if the divot weren't there. There's this one as well. You'll have to add the collision like this. This one is much more easier since it's just straight up like this for the collision box. And then when it comes to this one, it's the same. It's just a rectangle because the bottom part you won't be able to interact with. So all we have to do is this. There you go. So the only one that we do have to make a special collision is for this one and for maybe some other items. A lot of the background items like these don't really need a collision. But the other special one that we have to do is this one. The difference with this one is rounded, and you can actually fall into this one. So what we're going to do is make one like this, make it go diagonally, and make it go like this. Then finish it off. And the reasoning behind this is so the leaves are a little bit interactable. I'm going to adjust this one a little. There we go. That way it's straight. We're just going to have to do that over here as well. Make sure to keep in mind what pixel you ended it on. So it has to be from the edge, it's just 2. So right about here. So we add one there, we add one there, and we can adjust it however we want right now. So I'm going to adjust it like this, so that's pixel perfect. And so your feet can interact with it a little bit. Let's do it to this one as well. We're basically doing the same thing, but on the other side. And here on the sides, we do the same thing. It's at 2 pixels on every single side, so we just do it like this. Get that corner, get this one, and you get the idea. I'll do the other ones, and I'll be right back. So now, one more thing you shouldn't add collision to is the water. So when it comes to the water, you want the player to fall through it. Though, if it were for me, I'd program it so that it's in front of the player sprite. So when the player falls into it, it's in front of them. I'd do the same for these fences here. They'd have to be in front of the player. When it comes to the signs, they can be behind the player sprite. So yeah, you have to like layer it around. Like these little grass and flower petals, you can make them go differently. Like some can go behind the player, some can go in front. You can make it interchangeable. The rocks, you can make them go in front of the player, you can make them go behind the player. And these ones have to be on the most back layer if you're adding this to your background, which is a giant tree. And that's pretty much it. Just Control S to save everything, and now you can add your character if you want. The whole map should have its correct collision, Also, make sure that you have the character on the right layer. Anyways, my name is Adam, and I hope to see you in the next map creation.